Today on the Rockbridge Report, protests continue to rock Charlotte, North Carolina following an officer-involved killing of an African-American man, the latest on the police chief's decision to not release video of that incident.
And the countdown has begun for move-in day at the new Waddell Elementary School. We'll show you what students and teachers can expect.
I'm Bryn McCarthy with the weather, and today is the first day of fall, but it sure doesn't feel like it outside with these high temperatures. Be sure to stay tuned for the 5-day forecast up next on the Rockbridge Report.
And later, see how locals are improving the vista in Buena Vista. All that and more on today's Rockbridge Report.
For Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Samuel Mao.
And I'm Polly Noskova. Police in Charlotte, North Carolina say they will not release video from the officer-involved killing of an African-American man until the victim's family has seen it first. Violence erupted in the city once again last night. 44 people were arrested. The protests left at least 4 police officers injured and 1 civilian in critical condition and on life support. Governor Pat McCrory declared a state of emergency and called out both the National Guard and the State Highway Patrol. Diana Gallagher of CNN is there in Charlotte.
In Charlotte, North Carolina, the sun rose Wednesday on a battered city. The National Guard called out by the governor mobilizing before dawn just to keep order. Hours earlier, the scene was very different as a second night of unrest gripped the city. Protesters angry over the death of Keith Lamont Scott vented their rage and grief. Now, Scott was shot Tuesday. Police say that he brandished a weapon, but his family says that he was reading a book in his vehicle. Now, during the second protest, 1 person was shot by another civilian, according to authorities, and is in the hospital on life support. Several police officers were injured and journalists were caught up in the chaos.
Oh, wow. They put out a pepper spray. People are running from it. Jeremy, get out of there!
One reporter was knocked to the ground by a passing man. Now, some demonstrators stood in front of the police line in an effort to maintain peace, and there were those who tried to calm the tensions.
I'm trying to prevent people from being hurt. My brothers are out here too. They're out here trying to make sure we do it the right way.
Charlotte's mayor pleaded for peace to be restored to the city streets.
I ask again for calm, peaceful demonstrations. It is important we have a full and transparent investigation of the original incident, and we are working hard collaboratively to ensure the integrity of that investigation.
In Charlotte, I'm Diane Gallagher.
Authorities plan an increased police presence on the streets in Charlotte tonight. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump will hold a rally in Roanoke this Saturday at the Berglund Center. Doors will open at 3 p.m. Trump's visit to Roanoke follows recent campaign visits there from his opponent's daughter, Chelsea Clinton, and the wife of Clinton running mate Tim Kaine. Ann Holton is the former Virginia Secretary of Education.
Waddell Elementary is ready to welcome faculty, students, and families to the new school building after 2 years of construction and several delays. Doors are set to open on October 3rd. Parker Butler has the story.
It's been a long road for Waddell Elementary School since contractors knocked down the 100-year-old building and began construction on a new school in 2014. Despite several delays, primarily due to weather, the school is finally ready to welcome back its students. And Lexington School Superintendent Scott Jeffries has only one feeling about the school's grand opening October 3rd: pure delight.
It's really going to be a perfect marriage of up-to-date technology, up-to-date furniture, up-to-date school settings with tried and true professional instructors dedicated to their pedagogy, dedicated to the kids, and to try to see all that come together, we're super excited about it.
The hallways, the bathrooms, the technology, everything here at Waddell is new now, except here for this playground. It's the only thing remaining from the old school, and it'll actually be knocked down as soon as the new playground is built.
Jeffries gave me a tour of the new school from top to bottom. As we walked down the hallways, he could not hide his enthusiasm for the new upgrades. However, the superintendent isn't the only one excited about the school. Students and parents are also counting down the days until school opens its doors again.
Just seeing the new space and all of the windows overlooking the creek and the beautiful library media space that they're calling it.
As principal of Waddell Elementary, Tim Martino couldn't be more excited for the opening day.
It's really just the initial energy. it's like the first day of school again, and there's nothing better than the first day of school. The energy that the kids have, the parents have.
The administration has already begun moving school supplies into the new building, but Jeffrey says there is still a lot more to be done.
We'll start having library books that are all boxed up and everything carried over starting on Friday this week. Then all next week we're bringing over each day 2 grade levels worth of classrooms over those days.
Some work still needs to be done before students are welcome back to the school. But considering the long road it took to get here, the administration isn't worried at all.
You have to keep your eye on the prize, and that's this beautiful building, that's this beautiful facility. And that's been our focus is, we'll get here. We'll get here soon enough, and it'll be worth the wait.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Parker Butler.
The $14 million project will open its doors to Waddell teachers and staff on September 13th. Classes will begin on October 3rd.
The state of Virginia proposed adding 2 new traffic lights to one of the busiest stretches of US 60. The section of highway crosses from Lexington into Rockbridge County and runs past Carilion Stonewall Jackson Hospital and Central Elementary. Our Rockbridge County reporter, Ellen Kanzinger, joined us today to talk about the problem and the proposal.
So the area in question, which includes part of US 60 and Nelson Street, is a high-density area with traffic. There's Stonewall Jackson Hospital as well as Central Elementary School in that area, and the traffic currently is not ideal for the density of the area.
So it sounds like public safety is really an issue. What's the state's proposed solution?
So the state's main proposal was to add 2 new traffic lights to the US 60 and US 11 interchange, where the cars coming off the bypass could have more time to exit the off-ramp.
And is there a schedule for installing these lights right now?
So currently, the County Board of Supervisors recently voted to return the study to the Virginia Department of Transportation. They felt that the study was not adequate and did not present a solution that would help the traffic flow there. So currently, the county is waiting on the Department of Transportation for funding. So the plan is stalled until they can get that funding.
But are these traffic lights the only solution?
So the road currently runs through both county and city lines. So the county portion is waiting on the Department of Transportation. The city has not voted yet on the solution yet, but they will plan to around October 6th. The solution for the Lexington part of the road is to add sidewalks to increase pedestrian traffic as well as bike lanes so that hopefully the motorists can share the road.
Great, well thank you.
Thank you.
Local residents will soon have 4 more firefighters working to protect their safety. Thanks to a nearly $500,000 grant, the Federal Emergency Management Agency will provide Lexington with funds to hire the firefighters for 2 years. Fire Chief Ty Dickerson hopes the new staff will begin working by November and allow the department to have a fire engine and ambulance manned at all times. The Lexington Fire Department responds to emergencies in the city and in over 50 square miles of Rockbridge County. Up next, Bryn McCarthy joins us with a changing weekend forecast. And we'll show you how downtown Buena Vista is planning to spruce up storefronts.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
doesn't even know that we're here. Is he okay? Please tell me he's okay.
Laura.
Okay, try to call him again.
There's no signal.
Try.
Nothing's working.
Well, just
Everything's down.
This is so bad. He's out there by himself.
Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov.
The once vibrant town of Buena Vista could be on the cusp of a renaissance. How might this tiny town regain a business district that lives up to its name? Julia Gazelle has the story.
Crumbling historic buildings are a common sight in Buena Vista, Virginia, a town named for its beautiful view of the Blue Ridge Mountains. But City Councilman Steve Baldridge says the council is taking action to spruce up storefronts around the city.
2 years ago, the city presented business owners with an opportunity to apply for facade improvement grants. The City Council set aside $14,500 from its budget for potential grant applicants. City Council member and grant recipient John Dyer says he believes this opportunity is a step in the right direction for Buena Vista.
Our hopes were that some of the business owners would take advantage of it, and then once they did and the others saw the improvements, that it would be contagious and it would be something that everybody wanted to do.
John and his wife Sarah are one of the first of 3 recipients of a facade improvement grant. Their antique and gift shop, Urban Farm Girl, used to be a hardware store and has been a downtown icon in Buena Vista since 1904.
When we found out that we were a recipient of the facade improvement grant, we were very excited because it meant that maybe we could do a little more, maybe a little quicker.
John and Sarah both hope that as more businesses become aware of the Facade Improvement Grant program, Buena Vista could become more like the town they knew when they were growing up.
When I grew up here, you could, as my husband John said, go downtown and you could pretty much find anything you needed. You could get an ice cream cone, you could get your school clothes, you could buy a gift for someone, you could get pretty much anything you needed for your home, and a lot of that is gone now.
Another grant recipient, JJ's Meat Shack, is almost done with its construction. Owner Lou Hamilton said the well-known barbecue joint spent its grant money on a new building that will be used mostly for catering.
I don't know, I think it makes more people want to come to BV. There's places like JJ's to come eat.
City Council members believe another 3 or 4 businesses are interested in this year's grant. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Julia Gazelle.
Facade improvement grants are just one of the ways Buena Vista is trying to improve its look. The City Council installed new sidewalks last year and removed old trees to create room for fresher landscaping.
What's our 5-day forecast looking like, Bryn?
Well, as you can see, it's the first day of fall, but current conditions do not seem very fall-like. Today's forecast is actually tied for our record high of 82 degrees, and our low is a 58. As you can see, the barometer is reading about 30.13 inches, and we are experiencing some wind speeds of about 7 miles per hour. As we move to our regional map, we can see that the general vicinity is going to be in the 70s, and as we move west towards Stanton, it's going to be in the 80s. But overall, in the Virginia area, we're going to be experiencing partly cloudy weather. And as we move to our satellite radar, you can see that we're going to be experiencing some moisture in the air and some wind and some cloud cover up north and down south. And moving into our 5-day forecast, you can see that we're still experiencing lots of sun this weekend and high temperatures of about 87 on Friday and 85 on Saturday, lots of sunshine. And as we move into the start of the week, you can see that we're getting much more fall-like temperatures, dropping way down into the 70s with low temperatures in the 50s and partly cloudy. Back to you.
Thanks, Bren. A streamlined way to handle rising drug crimes could become a reality in Rockbridge County next year. Chris Billius, who became Rockbridge County's Commonwealth Attorney in January, believes the recent appointment of Anita Filson as presiding judge for the Circuit Court will allow him to move forward with the proposal soon. The drug docket would require people on probation for drug-related crimes to return to court regularly and receive regular treatment.
Up next, local high school students head to a fair to learn about college choices.
And the Generals take on another tough non-conference opponent. Keenan Willard has the highlights of a close game next in sports.
Hi, may I please have an application?
Woo.
Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your GED.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future and sign up for free classes now at yourged.org.
If you store your guns properly,
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
please.
Do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out for summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
500 juniors and seniors from Rockbridge County and Perry McClure High School attended a college fair Wednesday afternoon. The Virginia Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers hosted the 2-hour event at Rockbridge County High School. Representatives from nearly 60 Virginian colleges offered brochures and advice about their institutions. Local colleges in attendance included Washington and Lee, VMI, and Dabney S. Lancaster Community College. VAC Row hosts nearly 75 fairs a year all across the state from September to November.
Rockbridge County High is off to a rough start in football this year. Let's see how the pros are doing. Over to Keenan Willard with the latest in sports. Keenan?
Thanks, Sam. The NFL is moving into its Week 3, and the Washington Redskins are currently in the midst of a 2-game losing streak. They kick off against the Giants this Sunday at 1. In college football, W&L fell to Claremont McKenna last Saturday. This marks the second loss for the Jennies this season. Generals got started at Wilson Field for the first time. Big reception from the home crowd as everybody was excited. The Generals came out hot, started fast with McKenna Johnson on the end around, who went in 35 yards for the score, dove in past 2 defenders there, and he was in. Whit Hawkins there with the celebration. The Generals were moving fast and jumped out to an early lead. As you see, the crowd got very excited there. Following it up, they have Patrick Ryan on the punt return, who juked and jived, sprinted 17 yards up the side there for a long punt return, his longest of the year. And that got the crowd energized, those Wilson fans in high spirits. However, the Generals did ultimately lose in the final seconds of the game on a game-winning field goal from 35 yards. Final score was 31-28. The Generals will be back in action next week against Emory and Henry on Friday.
Thanks for the updates, Keenan.
And in other news, W&L's women's volleyball team continued their 11-game winning streak when they defeated Shenandoah 3-0 last night. In high school sports, Rockbridge County High has yet to win a game this season. Amherst County dominated the Wildcats 49-7 last Friday. The Wildcats face off against Allegheny tomorrow night. And that's all for sports. Back to you, Sam.
Thanks for the updates, Keenan.
Virginia Beach purebred boxer Roxy was sick as a dog after eating 7 corn cobs she found in her family's trash can. Roxy's owner said she almost had to put the dog down when she learned how much surgery would cost. But in less than 24 hours, a national pet charity, Frankie's Friends, raised $5,000 to pay for Roxy's speedy trip to recovery.
And that's all for today's Rockbridge Report. I'm Samuel Mao.
And I'm Polly Niskova. Join us again next week and tune in anytime at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. Thank you for watching.